All I'm saying is I'm so glad this didn't happen yesterday with Jimmie Ward. Can you imagine? I would have punched a hole in my wall. My goodness. Not that I don't care about the Cohn phone, because I clearly do, but I'm just saying if this had happened yesterday, man, I'd be flipping out. Not that I'm not already. So how is it? Is it good? All right. Well, I'm not going to do that whole pat myself on the back thing anymore, because I think that's God saying, let it go. Let it go. So I'm just going to take your calls. Give it a few minutes. Should I give it a few? So it started out okay, and then it kept glitching. Maybe it's StreamYard's fault. Here, I'm just going to babble for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to take your calls. I don't want to, if it messes up again, then I'm just going to cry the whole day. So yeah, you heard my spiel about Jimmie. I hope more athletes do that, not just on my podcast, but on other podcasts. That's the future of football journalism, that kind of stuff. For 20 years, we haven't known these players because everyone's trying to be like the Patriots. It's working, all right? All right, it's working. All right. Let's take some calls before this before this malfunctions again, all right? Let me put the thing in the thing. Copy. I'll put it in the chat box first today. Paste. All right. Let me put it in the YouTube description so people will see it. And go. I can't believe I had to do three tries today, not just one. 3. Hold on. All right, it's in the description too. Let's take some calls. I don't know how I make the simplest technological things so hard, but at least it didn't happen yesterday, man.
Right. At least it did not happen yesterday.
God, imagine. Anyway, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
So you're still on cloud 9 from that interview? You still feel great? You still
Just a little hungover from the interview. It
was great. It was great.
Thanks.
I learned more about Jimmie Ward in an hour than I did the last 7-8 years. I mean, to me, Jimmie Ward was just a nameless player, right? Just a nameless player. And if he had left, I had no emotional attachment to him whatsoever, other than his play on the field. And now there's a story behind him. And I think more athletes should do that, because I think football is an emotional sport baseline, right? And I think the players that tend to stick around and do well, the owner's not silly, and neither is the team. Is the players with emotional attachment, right? The fans typically get what they want, and the team will probably keep a player a year or two more if they know the fans, like him, right? Look at 49ers from the past that the Niners kept a year or two longer than they should have, because the fan base would have revolted until the point where it's like, he's not very good anymore. We're going to have to move on.
Also, I mean, the Niners have stuck by Jimmie Ward, I mean, famously through all these coaching staffs, and the coaches like him and they pay him, but the organization doesn't promote him.
No,
they just don't. I mean, you don't see his face around. You don't see they don't sell his jersey. And now he's, to me, put himself in that circle of players they need to be promoting. Like, I don't know if they saw it yesterday. It was like, hello, look what you have.
I mean, Mostert hasn't been around, and they probably promote Mostert more than Jimmie. And Jimmie's been around like twice as long, if not longer. Yeah.
He's one of their highest paid players. He's one of their best players. He has all this personality and insight, and the Niners are dropping the ball on that one. They're sending other people to the podium. I'm not going to not take shots at anyone else because everyone's watching my show now. But yeah, come on. I mean, you got this guy in your team. Like, he's just as good as Kittle in front of the mic. Are you kidding? If not better.
Yep. He was very
he's much more like Kittle tries very hard. I'm not taking shots.
You know what? Yeah. The thing that stood out with Ward was, at one point, I forgot that you guys were actually doing an interview, and it was just back and forth. And that's a good, right? Yeah. I think with Kittle, Kittle's not as naive as he makes him out to be, and neither was Gronk, right? Gronk puts on, we're happy-go-lucky tight ends, but they were very measured, controlled.
Yes.
Or say Jimmie, I think, just let it rip, which was refreshing.
It was great. It was so good. I'm forever grateful for him. Yeah.
So I had one take, and I was going to ask you training camp is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that, I think the elephant in the room is Lance going to start
Yes.
sooner than later. And now what does Jimmie have to do in order to prevent Lance from taking it? Do you think that, to me, I think Jimmie's got to let it rip in those games.
Mm-hmm.
Typically he doesn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Check down. I think you might see an even more aggressive Jimmie in preseason to keep that job, right?
But I'm trying to get inside the mind of Jimmie Garoppolo. Don't you think that he's thinking, I need to let it rip, I need to play well to showcase myself for another team? I feel like that is going on here. Because even if he wins the job week 1, what team's he going to be on week 8?
You know what? I think Jimmie realizes if he can keep his job week 1, he's guaranteed that money, and he doesn't have to.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's 27 million reasons why he wants to let it rip in preseason.
Yup.
And I think,
that's a good way to put it.
He could go anywhere else, but he's not making 27 million.
Right. He needs to not get cut.
Correct.
Yes.
And so I think you're going to see a much more aggressive Jimmie Garoppolo because Lance has nothing to lose.
Right.
Nothing. Zero. What does he lets it rip? He makes mistakes. He's a rookie. If he doesn't, okay, he's aggressive. That's what Kyle wants.
Right.
So Jimmie's got to kind of play like he did when he first got to the 49ers.
Yes, I agree. And I think like the same thing played out with Kansas City a few years ago. Alex Smith was always very cautious.
Yep.
And then they drafted Mahomes, didn't play Mahomes right away. Smith had one more year, and all of a sudden he was like throwing downfield the Tyreek Hill. Yeah, he led the league in passer rating that year. It was like, oh, you saw Patrick Mahomes in practice, and you're like, man, I need to step up my entire game just to stay on this team.
They still ended up replacing him, but but you know what? He stayed around for another 5-6 years. He probably would have been around if not for that gruesome injury, right? He bought himself another 5-6 years of starting pay money with that one good season.
Yes, that's right.
To me, that's like, after Bosa, it's seeing what Jimmie does and seeing if the troops rally around Jimmie or the troops are just like, the other guy's better. I'm sorry. We're going to have to ride with him now. Sorry. Good luck. You still got a great jawline. I'm sure you'll bounce back, but it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm sure Jimmie has a big chip on his shoulder. Like, look, they're blaming me for all their problems. All I do is win. I've gotten hurt. Why is that my fault? I'm going to go somewhere else, continue to win. They're going to look stupid. I'm going to be right. That's probably what he's thinking, and he should. It'd be interesting to see if he can prove that. I actually think the Niners are doing the right thing here, but I thought the Niners were doing the right thing to push Alex Smith out the door. And then in the retrospect, I was like, ooh, maybe everyone was wrong. I don't know, So Jimmie, prove us wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Correct.
But your main point that he's going to have to play and will play much more aggressively, I totally agree. If he doesn't, the choice is going to be so easy.
Oh, yeah.
So easy. Yeah. All right, Bruce Wayne. It's great to see you, man.
Right, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Take care.
See you later.
All right, see you. Real quick, before I get to Michael, I want to get this one thing. Jay says, great interview yesterday. Watch it on replay. Keep it up. I need you to get Kittle on next week for the season. You at the August 14th preseason game? Probably. I want to get Kittle's cool, but what about Dwelly, though? Let's see if I can get Dwelly, though. Because you know what I mean? Like, Kittle's, he doesn't need any more promotion. Everyone knows George Kittle. Jimmy Ward needed promotion. Ross Dwelly needs promotion. I don't need to be helping Kittle. Kittle already, he's already famous.
In it for 50 years.
What's up?
Not much.
Should I come back?
So the vinegar is fake.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back. I will come back. I'm gonna come back to you. Yo. Oh, you got a connection problem. Oh,
you there?
I'm having a little trouble with you. Why don't you restart and come back in? Uh-oh. Jaden, man. How you doing, Jaden?
How you doing?
Great, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. I'm pretty hyped right now, actually.
Why are you so hyped?
I asked my uncle yesterday if he could get me a ticket for one of the Niner games, and he said he's going to give me like $200 so I can buy a ticket.
Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic. Have you ever been to a Niner game?
No.
Man, that is fun. I went to my first Niner game when I was about 19. So you're beating me to it. Nice. Have a great time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to go to the Seahawks game.
Oh, my goodness. That'll be so much fun.
Yeah, first one.
That'll be electric. You'll have a great time.
Yeah. So I watched the live stream with Jimmie Ward yesterday.
What'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. Really.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like Jimmie Ward is very ballsy. He was calling out a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
I like how he called out Stafford for one. That was legendary of him.
That was dope.
But my main thing that I wanted to bring up, because I thought it was absolutely hilarious, is when he said that he wished he would have hurt Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I wish I would have. That's amazing, man. You don't hear people talk like that. He was really talking like, it's a little feedback. He was really talking like a Muhammad Ali or something like that. I mean, maybe he got that from Richard Sherman. That he saw you can talk like this. You can promote yourself. It's good.
So my main question was going to be, do you think like the interview will like get Jimmie Ward's like, I don't know, his name will get out there more, and that will like help him on the field?
I don't know. Can you turn me down a little bit? There's a little feedback.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have that kind of impact, but I feel like locally among the Niner fans, this will really help him. Because a lot of Niner fans watch that. And I think Niner fans will go from being like, ambivalent to him to being big fans of him, I would think. I would hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then how do you think that's going to go over with, like, the locker room and, like, Kyle Shanahan and all that?
I'm hopeful that this leads more players to my podcast because Jimmie Ward is a leader on the team. I've been very critical of him. He was a model of how to handle it,
Yeah.
How to go on there, not take it personal, and be like, look, I appreciate the challenge. Keep challenging me. Thank you very much. It makes me better. I mean, that's a really cool attitude. And he like opened the door for anyone to go on. Eric Armstead could come on and be like, you know what, Grant? I don't like you very much, but I saw what you did with Jimmie. I mean, hopefully it has that kind of like a effect, I think.
Yeah.
That's my
You need to get Nick Bosa next. Nick Bosa.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be getting any of the super duper famous guys on the team, but that's okay. I like the idea of lifting the profiles of underrated players. I think that's kind of cool.
I like the idea of Dwelly. I think he's a starting caliber in my opinion, but it'd have to be for a different team.
Yeah, he backs up George Kittle, the best tight end in the league, but he could start for a lot of teams.
Oh yeah. What's a team that he could start for?
Whew. He could start for Arizona right now. He could start for. He might be able to start for
Houston,
Seattle, Houston. I think he's really good. I mean, geez, a lot of teams, man. Not the Raiders; they got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Chargers.
That surprised me too. Whenever Jimmie Ward said he wants to do one-on-ones with Waller, because my brother, he's a Raiders fan, and he was sitting here listening to it with me, and I was like, okay, he wants some challenge. He
wants to know what. Apparently, people are talking about Waller like he's the next big thing in the league. You can hear it. Like people are talking about. I want to see what the hype's all about. Is it all hype? Yeah.
You can't block like Kelsey and Kittle can though.
Probably not, but he's a load to cover. So that was interesting to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Jaden. Well, have a great day, man.
You too.
All right, take care.
You too.
I got to jump East Bay Chris to the front of the line because he's got kids, man. What's up?
Thanks, Grant. Yeah, I have to go to the grocery store too. I'm not driving. I'm in my car. I'm gonna keep it quick. I just wanted to say congrats, man. I mean, that was so awesome yesterday getting Jimmie Ward. And I mean, what a guest. I mean, he was so cool, like just so laid back. And the thing that I loved about him, the one moment where he was talking about when you brought up the fact that Harbaugh lost the locker room, supposedly, that article came out. I think it was his final year with the team. And Jimmie said, I didn't see it. I didn't see it at all. And we always kind of knew that Balky was this manipulating guy and he was backstabbing. But I don't remember. I don't think we've really heard it directly from a player, like someone come out and say like, "No, I think it had something to do with the GM." It's like, damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. And that's the guy who drafted him. I mean, he was not sugarcoating anything.
Yeah. I love that. He was very raw. He was very just like brutally honest. And I
he actually had some insight into the Kaepernick era too that I just let go, and he didn't want to talk about much, but he was like, it divided the team. There were two camps. It was like the culture was terrible. I mean, people don't talk about that very much, but that's the kind of thing that me and my dad were trying to say in 2016, and people were like, shut up. Like, okay, fair enough. But Jimmie said it.
Yeah. It was pretty eye-opening. And I think, again, going back to the bulky thing, we really have to take with a grain of salt what we hear from the national guys. Like, how do you take them seriously? Because they were the ones reporting on it, right? But it was the local guys. It was local guys saying, no, that's not what's going on. Tim Kawakami, your dad, you were the guys saying, no, there's something else going on here. It's not that Harbaugh's losing the locker room.
And the guy reporting it isn't in the locker room. Ian Wright, he's not around. I've never seen him in the Niners locker room. And it was funny. Jimmie was like, who's leaking this? I'm not doing it. He's not doing it. It must be someone. It must be the GM.
Right. So we have to take that. We have to apply that to today. And you know, the things that come out from the national guys now, like you really have to look at it and be very skeptical of what you're hearing from them. And specifically, I'm talking about like the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff. Yeah. Like, it's just
because it's not really a mystery where it's coming from.
Right.
You know, you can guess.
So if ever you're in a debate about something football related, I would just highly recommend not quoting a national sports reporter. I would quote the local guys, the guys that are actually here. So.
Yeah, it seems like all the best insights came from the fan questions yesterday. I was asking stuff about like his process on the field, and everyone was like, the fans got the real nuggets out, and he didn't care. He was happy to do it.
Yeah.
So, thanks everyone.
Yeah,
I just had softballs yesterday.
We were very interested to hear what he had to say about you specifically as well, what the locker room had to say. I'm glad Chewy asked that question.
Chewy did a good job. I was gonna save it till the end, but he did a good job. Yeah, thanks, Chewy.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, congrats again, Grant.
Thanks, man.
Huge moment for you, and it's been really exciting kind of watching your progression here over the past year.
Thanks, man.
Kind of crazy. So
I just can't believe he came on this little thing. You know what I mean? It's like he watches. He knows who Vish is. He probably knows who you are.
It's not a little thing anymore. Like this is
not a little thing.
Community you got.
I know.
And players are paying attention. Like, you're blowing up, dude. So
thanks, man. Well, have a great time at Whole Foods or Safeway or wherever you're going.
Yeah, I'll be at Safeway.
All right. Have a good one, man.
Right.
Later.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Harold says, awesome interview with Jimmie Ward. Thanks. Any chance you can interview Frank Gore or Juszczyk? Also, can you do a review on Fred Dean in the future? Ooh, I'll try. I don't see why not. I'd like to interview everyone eventually. All right, let me get back to Michael Miller. He's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
How you doing, man?
What I have some questions.
Sure.
To ask you, but it's all together as one thing.
Sure.
What happens if Jimmy G gets injured next year?
Oh my God!
Blows another ACL out.
I know where you're going with this.
Not only are we on the hook for $27 million this year, we're on the hook for next year's.
Is that how it works?
If he makes the roster and he's injured, an ACL, let's say he blows it out in week 8, week 9, somewhere in there, or any kind of injury, the Alex Smith injury
that lingers.
Yes, we're on hook for his entire contract.
If he is that like if he can't pass a physical next April?
Pass a physical, and if you're on the IR, you ain't passing physical.
If I remember correctly, that's a little bit what went on with Colin Kaepernick at the end. The way I remember it was everyone at his last year on the Niners, he was coming off a bunch of surgeries, and everyone said, well, that's the reason why he was backing up Gabbert at first. But I think what was going on was he had that injury guarantee, and he knew that they could cut him and he wouldn't get the same amount of money on the open market. So I think what the organization felt was that he timed the surgeries in such a way that he couldn't pass a physical and they couldn't cut him. I think that's what they felt.
I'm hurt,
Yeah, I'm going to have a surgery in February. I'm going to have a surgery in February to clean something up. It's my labrum. It's just that's like, okay, well, now you definitely are not going to pass a physical in April.
That's why Jed, John, and Cal better listen up. If they don't get him off before preseason or right after preseason starts, they're going to be on the hook for the entire contract.
Very dangerous. But here's the thing. They know it. They got to know it because they went through this with Colin Kaepernick. They have Parag Marath, and they're very good at making money and saving money.
I mean, didn't we just go through it with D Ford and Western Richburg? We owed them pretty much their whole contract, even though we reworked it and stuff like that. We're still on the hook for a lot of money with D Ford, and he's here 2 years, whether we like it or not still.
See, that's why to me, I still do not buy that Jimmie Garoppolo is going to play a regular season game with this team this year. Now, they got to showcase him. I think they would like to trade him before the preseason starts. I think they're hoping that some quarterback gets hurt. Like the Sam Bradford, Teddy Bridgewater situation from 5 years ago when the Eagles drafted Carson Wentz, same school as this guy. They also had Sam Bradford. They got to trade Bradford right away.
Let's say you're the GM. What's more important to you, a second-round pick that you can get or $50 million in cap that you can get?
$50 million. And again, if you're willing to trade him for like a 4th-round pick, I think you could probably do that.
Oh, you could have got that weeks ago.
You probably could get the mid-round pick right now. I think they're hoping that if they showcase him, if he gets some positive reports, if he has one good preseason game, if some team's desperate because their quarterback got hurt, then the price could go up. And I think they're saying is like, well, what's the rush? You know, like, why don't we just take this to the deadline?
He plays one down and he gets injured, and he's very injury prone. I'd say there's probably a 60 or 70% shot he's going to get injured next year.
It could happen in preseason.
It can happen in camp.
Time. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's
it could.
You know, you're looking at.
You know, they're waiting for a quarterback to get hurt.
Look for it.
They're waiting for a quarterback to get hurt so they can ship Jimmie Garoppolo out there. The quarterback who's most likely to get hurt is Jimmie.
Put Jimmie on the bench. Don't let him practice. Wait for another quarterback to get hurt then.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
You know,
and I just got to be careful here. You don't want to lock into this. I'm afraid
we're going to be on the hook for that full $50 million or whatever it is, $52, $53 million, whatever we owe him. We're going to end up owing him the entire amount because if he gets injured and it's bad enough, it will carry over into next season. And once the league year starts, if he's on there, we owe it to him.
Yeah. And again, like you can always have surgery in February on whatever you want. Be like, you know what? This has been bothering me for years. You know, my knee, I got to clean up. You know, my high ankle never really sprained. I mean, that to me, I think is what Kaepernick did. He had 3 surgeries. And I feel like some of them, they were like, oh, you needed the surgery. You know, like Kittle has been playing with injuries he doesn't have off-season surgery because he never wants to have to rehab and not work out. But he could do that whenever he wanted if he felt he was going to get cut or something like that.
I mean, for $25 million, would you have a little cleanup?
Yes, I would. There's no question. Because I mean, for Jimmie,
he's not getting it again.
He needs to keep this contract going, right? If he gets cut or moved, he's only going to take a pay cut. So I'm not saying he's going to fake an injury. I'm just saying it is definitely in his.
I wouldn't put it past him because he could have played last year and didn't want to come back.
Well, this is a whole different thing that we're talking about here. Him having surgery in the offseason to stay on. But it's something that players have done in the past. It's something the Niners have to be cognizant of. They got to be cognizant of it here. It's putting him on the field is very risky in a lot of ways. It's a good point.
Second round pick or $50 million.
I
put him on the bench and don't let him move.
Just take the 4th round pick and be happy. Take it.
Just cut him. I'd rather just cut.
Well, you could get a 4th round pick for him. Take it.
Yeah, whatever. But
whatever. Yeah.
It's a $50 million risk is what we're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
And what if we lose the $50 million? How do we keep our star linebacker?
It's true.
You know, you can only push money back so far in that cap situation before you're in cap hell. So
that's true.
You know. All right, you have a nice day. And
you too, Michael.
You know, being that the Niners are watching now, like Jimmie Ward and stuff, I hope they hear us. You know,
I hope so. I think they do. I still think that the Niners are just trying to showcase him. I really want to give him the benefit of the doubt here and say that they're just trying to showcase him, but he's not going to be on this team week 1. We'll see.
I pray to God you're right.
All right, Michael.
All right, later.
Okay. Benjamin Camperman, nice haircut.
Yeah. Did you guys see the show I just did with Gavin from Wales?
No, I haven't seen it. What'd you do with Gavin?
We talked a bunch of soccer. It was tons of fun.
So. Nice.
Anyways, I just wanted to quickly come on here and say, like, that Jimmie Ward interview was, like, that was cool. Like,
thanks, man.
And he's like,
cool.
here's the thing is, I think, just because of his personality, I think he's one of the hungriest players on the 49ers team, and he really wants that Super Bowl.
I had no idea, right? But his drive was like unreal, man.
Yeah, and sometimes like we were talking about, like, do the 49ers players, like, they're still stuck in 2019 or whatever. Well, this guy's not. Like, he wants to go back, and I don't know if you could list me like some of the players that, I guess, as you interview more of these players, you're going to see the hungriness of like what these players want instead. So you're going to see the players' personalities, and you're going to see how hungry they are. So
yeah,
who do you think who else do you think is hungry for the Super Bowl?
Oh man, hungry to prove themselves still.
Yeah,
Raheem Mostert. Man, Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle. I mean, I think that these guys are all very motivated. They talk about 2019. I think that it does motivate them to go back because they feel like they should have won. They should have won. They should have won.
Yeah,
they should have won. Like the rings were on their fingers.
The one thing that I do want to say, like, people are like, the refs robbed us of this game, of the Super Bowl. In a way they did, but in a way also that doesn't excuse the fact that like Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins were burning them downfield for 50-yard bombs. Like,
Kyle said the same thing. He's like, in my first Super Bowl loss, they called me for a holding penalty that if they had called, it that way in my second Super Bowl loss, they would have, they would have got some calls on Nick Bosa because he was held on every third down. So he's very salty about the refs as well. That's coming from Kyle. He's definitely citing officiating inconsistency. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's what I got to say, but cool interview with Jimmie. Oh, and one guy that I really want you to interview is, try to get Raheem Mostert. That would be so.
I'm definitely going to try to get Raheem
Mostert. I love
Raheem
Mostert. And also, do you think Alex Mack?
I've never met Alex Mack, but he might want to. Yeah, he's older than me. He went to Cal. He might want to. We'll see.
Yeah. What about Trent Williams?
See, I have a feeling it's going to be a little harder for me to get the big superstars on my thing at first.
Yeah.
But I'm not really, you know what I mean? I kind of like the idea of what I did with Jimmie Ward.
Yeah, that was really,
bringing someone who's a little under the radar out. Someone who shouldn't be under the radar, who is. So Trent Williams, he's got enough. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe eventually. I like Trent Williams. We'll see. Yeah, Patrick Willie. All right, Ben. Great to see you.
I'll see you later. Bye.
All right, take care, man. Oh, guess what time it is? Guess what time it is? You already know what time it is. What's up?
What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great as always.
Great as always, man. You look great.
Thank you.
For sure.
You always tell me how good I look.
Yeah, man. You got rock star over here. So what you got planned for today? What are you doing today, man?
I go to Great America from 12 to 8 today.
12 to 8? Oh, that sounds like so much fun, man.
Yeah.
Hey, when are you meeting up with Bay Area Baller? When's that happening?
We're not doing that.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know him. He's a stranger. I got to get to know the guy first before I can go out with him.
Hey, that is true. That is true. Charlotte, how old are you?
I'm 24 and he's 31.
That's true, man. You can't just be meeting up with people you meet on the internet. You don't know. I've never even met Bay Area Baller. So look, I'll meet up with him and I'll tell you if he's all right or not. I'll give you the love.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you the scoop.
And then I'll let my parents know if they're okay with it.
There you go.
And if they're okay with it, then I can go out with him.
All right. Yeah, man. Hey, good parents.
Yeah.
What's up,
I got good parents.
You do have good parents. Tell them you got good parents. Tell them we approve.
I like that.
Yeah.
So my first question is, should the 49ers bring back Jason Verrett and Raheem Mostert?
Next year?
Next year. Should they bring him back for the
if they stay healthy, why not? If they come on my show, absolutely. If they don't.
And the other question is that if there was a football movie made on a 49er legend, who would it be?
That's a good question.
On a legend, who would it be? Real life story.
But I'm saying like the best story, the most intriguing.
Yeah, the most
like intriguing. To me, the Michael Jordan documentary was boring because Michael Jordan is boring to me. The whole story was this guy didn't think I was the best player of all time, and then I showed him. The movie I wanted to watch was the Dennis Rodman. Every time Dennis Rodman was so that's where I'm coming from. I like colorful people. And so I'm thinking Eddie DeBartolo would be cool story, man. Eddie DeBartolo, he was owning the team in his 30s, in the 80s, which was quite a time, and he was quite explosive. Eddie would be interesting. Obviously, Joe would be interesting. Joe Montana, the real story of Joe Montana. Jerry Rice, I don't know if the Jerry Rice story would be as interesting because he's kind of like Michael Jordan, just so focused on being great. I don't know, but the Eddie D story would be kind of cool.
My third question is,
okay.
Who's the best dressed player on the 49ers in your opinion?
Jimmie Garoppolo. Jimmie. Yeah, man. He coordinates well. He accessorizes. He wears a bracelet.
Bay Area Baller 18 the same exact question. They said Kittle.
Kittle is terrible at dressing.
What?
Kittle's terrible at dressing.
No, she don't agree with Bay Area Baller 18.
Not at all. Kittle's the kind of guy who would wear like, I don't know. Kittle's no style. I'm just hoping Kittle's watching. I'm just trying to egg him on
the 49ers. Who's the player who dresses up just dress up like just wears like
whatever
clothes that are really really weird? Like I know like when you come into the arena they wear like just unique like.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know how to phrase it, but they wear like.
I know the basketball players come into games dressed all goofy. I don't see the Niners when they come in. Yeah. Usually they come in suits and stuff.
But
hold on. Let me get back to you on that one. That's a good question. Who would you think is the weirdest dressing person, just based on their personality?
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough question to say.
It is
the goofiest dresser on the Niners?
Yeah. I remember that Torrey Smith used to wear Crocs around. It's like, man, you got millions of dollars. You wearing those $15 Crocs. He swore by them. So they're most comfortable shoes he could wear. Crocs.
Did you hear that about the Levi's Stadium? There was that thing on the news that they were like upset with the with Levi's. They were like giving
Who's upset?
I don't know what that story was, but it was on. I watched it on YouTube.
Oh no, I didn't see that. I know they don't like the stadium, but I like Levi's jeans a lot. Just want to throw that.
I think that they didn't like Levi's Stadium. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, Levi's Stadium, man. They called it the worst billion-dollar stadium in the NFL. Have you gone to a Niner game?
I haven't been to a Niner game, but I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I think Levi's Stadium is a beautiful arena.
What do you like about it?
I just like it that I like maybe they say it's the worst because Candlestick was better because it's by the bay. The old stadium Candlestick Park was way more beautiful because there was like a view of the bay. Levi's Stadium, you don't got any view of the bay. You just got Great America right next to it.
But you work in Great America.
I do, but it will be really. I miss watching a Candlestick because it was really heartbreaking when they tore a Candlestick down and decided to build Levi's.
Absolutely, man. It was tough. Uh-oh. He's running. Someone blew up a spot. He's like, where am I going? This is the most interesting thing that's ever happened on the Cohn phone. Oh, he's back.
So it's always great to be on your show because you just whatever you got, like all your 49er content is just amazing.
Thanks, man.
You just do an amazing job at what you do.
How does it feel that you and Jimmie Ward were in the same position? Yesterday it was me and Jimmie. Now it's me and you. You were on this show before Jimmie Ward.
It would be pretty great. If because like when you interviewed Jimmie Ward, it was like me and Curry. I just like I want to interview people that are really popular, but it's not easy.
It's not
easy to get like one of the star players to interview them. It's not easy.
It's not.
And you just how did you do that? How were you able to get somebody so popular like Jimmie Ward to interview him?
Well, he gave me that shout out a couple of weeks ago, so I knew he liked my show. I called his agent, and the agent said he's out of the country. He was in the Dominican Republic. I figured he was never going to call me back. But he got back to me like the next day. He said, oh, he's back. He wants to do it. So it's all Jimmie. Jimmie just wanted to do it. He could have said no. He said yes. I'm forever grateful. Honestly, I love that man. If I run into him when I'm 60 years old, I'm going to give him a hug. Jimmie Ward, love you. Thank you. That's the truth.
But I just don't want to keep you waiting. I know you have other callers out there who also want to call in. But it was great calling into the Cohn phone. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's so gracious of you, Shardal. You killed it. As always, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Shardall. Gotta love him, man. Hold on. I'm gonna get Keneal in here real quick because he hasn't called in a long time, but I'm gonna get back to you, John Bon Jovi. I'm gonna go back to the line. What's up, Keneal?
What's up, Grant? How you doing, man?
Nice shirt. You already got it, huh? You got the Lance.
Shout out my girl. I want to shout out my girlfriend real quick. She bought this for me. So
nice.
Feels
love
good.
It looks good.
Thank you. I want to say congrats on the Jimmie Ward interview. I was part of it, able to get in for bits and pieces, and I watched it back afterwards. It was so cool. I love how he said, like, he talked about the competitiveness, about like how where he said like they're cool guys off the field, like I respect them or whatever, but on the field I hate them. And he like he hated that, like I hate these, like I got once we're on the field, once we're playing, I love the mentality of it. Like it was really nice. He
must be like, okay, you get all this love in the media, you think you're great, you got all these followers on social media, you don't know me, man. Exactly. You must not know me. And just because I'm not the self-promoter that you are doesn't mean I'm not going to whoop your ass right now. I love that about him, man. I didn't know he had that edge, but he does.
Exactly.
He's so good. Yeah.
I agree. I have two things today. All right. So the first thing being N'Keal Harry. I do like N'Keal Harry. I
do too.
He's not like great, but I think he is someone, he struggles with separation and things like that, but Shanahan's going to scheme him open and like that. And then when I was watching like all his touches, like the Patriots posted, or like a Patriots account posted a video of all his touches from 2020. And he made some really tough catches. And that's what we need him to do. We don't need him to get open all the time and be a number one. We just need him to make tough catches.
That's what Kendrick Bourne did, contested catch guy. Because really, Debo's not that guy. Kittle's not that guy. It was Bourne. Ayuk can do it. Ayuk has long arms. Dwelly can do it. But those are the ones, those guys in those situations. Yep.
Exactly. So I do hope we can kind of throw that conditional 6th or a 7th out there.
Yeah. Why not? Here's why not. Because they don't want to block Jalen Hurd, Juwan Jennings. Now, if Jalen Hurd gets hurt, I think they would do this in a heartbeat. But right now, if they did get N'Keal Harry, you'd be like, well, what does that mean about what are they saying about Jalen Hurd? Are they giving up on Jalen Hurd? I don't think they're giving up on Jalen Hurd just yet. They always, ever since, if Jason Verrett can work out after being on the bench for 5 years, the Niners are going to not give up too quick on these players.
Makes perfect sense. Makes. I'm curious as well. So while Jimmie was on, I tried to do to send a question in, but it was. I know there was a lot.
I couldn't get all of them. I felt bad. A bunch of people donated for nothing, and I'd never done that before. I didn't know what to do. That was my bad. So I need to. My bad. Sorry about that.
Consider it a donation to the channel. But
thanks, man.
My question, and the Niners just as much as anyone else. So I'm someone that I do work in the mental health field. I want to become a sports psychologist. And I'm curious about how sports psychology works within the Niners. If you know who the team sports psychologist is, what they do. If Jalen Hurd sees a sports psychologist after being injured 2 years in a row, and how those type of deals as far as
so interesting.
I wonder if that element is as far as
because it seems like there's a lot of players on this team that could use a little. I mean, probably all players could. My wife is also in mental health field.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really cool. I was talking to a former coach about this exact thing. He was like, you need to get a sports psychologist on your show and ask him what he thinks Jimmy Garoppolo's mindset is right now. What do you think? Where do you think Jimmy's head is at right now, man? That's a tough one to me.
I'm not a sports psychologist yet.
Yes.
Amateur
sports psychologist in training.
But I mean, I was an athlete, right? And I'm a marriage family therapist. So
that's what my wife is.
Certain degree, is just that Jimmie. I think Jimmie, it's tough to deal with. There's no way he's feeling good about all this stuff. He knows the writing's on the wall.
Yep.
It's just a matter of time. But at the same time, 27 mil is 27 million.
Yeah.
But
keep your head down, say the right things. But I'm sure he'd like to leave. I'm sure he feels it's just a toxic environment for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think even still, I think I mentioned this when you were on Twitch once. I don't think he trusts the knee to this day. And it things where that's why I'm curious about the sports psychologist. Did he talk to someone about this stuff?
Yeah.
And kind of being able to process I might not ever be able to do some of the things I was doing when I was younger, but I can trust this knee. like if I get hit again, I feel confident that I'm not going to get hurt again. And I feel like he never has reached that point.
Or if I cut, because, you know, he tore it not even getting hit, just running. So how, and it was a freak accident, right? So in the back of your mind, he's probably thinking, is it going to happen again?
Exactly.
Is it going to happen again? Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm curious. I don't know if you have the Niners.
No, let me look into that, because I've actually been meaning to, I've been thinking about this too. I'm glad you brought it up.
All right. Awesome.
Man.
Well, I got to go. Thank you.
All right, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Welcome anytime. All right, man. See you, man. Later.
Yeah.
All right. John Bovey.
What's up, Grant?
What's up? How you doing?
Doing good, man. I saw your interview with Jimmie Ward yesterday, man. I'm kind of happy you got to. I'm happy, man. I'm happy you actually got a chance to talk to Jimmie Ward. I'm also really happy that you were able to get to my question about Talanoa Funga and the answer he gave. That
question, a great answer.
Because that was like I saw his face light up when you read it to him, and he's like, "Man, that dude, he makes plays." Yeah,
and I was like, so funny. I wouldn't have got that if it wasn't for you, man. You made the interview better.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
You I've always kind of watched Jimmie Ward a little closely. He's always been like aggressive, but he's never played the right position. You know, up until 2019, he's always been utilized as something else instead of what he really wanted to be.
The funny thing is, he even said, he's like, you know, I'd really like to play strong safety, but Tukowski's over there, and that's my boy.
Yeah.
But no, actually, I think like that's what Tyrann Mathieu does, and I think Jimmie Ward would be even better. He'd be a monster. He'd be a monster. Yeah. But again, Jimmie, if you're watching this, I'm not. Don't take this the wrong way, but he is a strong safety who's kind of built like a corner, and that's why he could play corner. So I mean, full-time strong safety, I'd be worried about his durability. And he's got such a good thing going the last 2 years. Maybe not mess with it too much, but he does play, and he covers tight end so often that it's like he's playing strong safety in that. It's just, I think, unlike first down when they're anticipating run, you don't need him in the box. You put Tart down there. Put Tart down.
Another question I wanted to ask him too. I threw it in at the end. I don't know if you saw it, but because he talked about him like he could play corner if he wanted to because he's built like a corner. I wanted to ask him if he could guard one of these three receivers in the past 3 decades. I was going to say, who would he have a better chance of guarding, going one-on-one with? Rice from the first decade, from the 80s, Chad Johnson, or Prime OBJ?
Man.
Yeah.
That's tough. I'd like to hear his thoughts. I don't think he would have done too great against Jerry Rice, but that's no slight against Jimmie Ward. I don't know. Yeah. I think he could have done better against the other two.
Because Chad Johnson, he prides himself on footwork, and so does Jerry Rice. But Jerry Rice is a route technician.
Jerry Rice is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So his one-on-one tape from camp was it's out on YouTube. It just destroys people. I mean, you can't stay
easily.
Yeah.
You can't. He's fast, he's quick, and he knows your weakness. And it's like the simplest motions, too. I don't know what he does or what he says before that lineup, but dude's insane. Another thing I wanted to touch up on is that running back room. I think Sermon might take Mostert's position because Mostert can't be the definitive RB1, only because he's only good at certain times. If you use him all the time, he gets out with an injury, a hamstring sprain or an ankle injury or a calf injury. The man has a history of not being durable enough long enough to be on the field to be RB1.
Well, I think it's going to be a pure committee, man. I think the Niners want to run the ball like 500 times this year or more. And they can't do that with just Mostert. That's going to be like 4 running backs and the quarterback too. I mean, it's going to be a little bit like what Baltimore does. You know,
honestly,
2 running backs who split carries plus a quarterback too.
Yeah, and the way I see the room is once preseason starts and we see what Trey Sermon, because I don't know if you saw any like the interviews with other people saying Sermon do routes and stuff. They say he's really good. You know,
good hands.
He's really good. He could do it, but the way I see it is Sermon 1, Mostert 2, Wilson if he comes back healthy, and then Mitchell at 4.
Cool. Don't forget Gallman. Don't forget
Gallman.
Hasty.
I forgot about Gallman.
They got a lot.
That's my boy.
I like Hasty.
I love Hasty. Hasty. The only time he ever fumbled was when he broke his collarbone. Yeah, that dude's a sleeper. Yeah.
Right, I got to take some more calls because I'm actually going to wrap this up at 11:15.
Oh, snap.
Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man. You take care.
I'll be back tomorrow. I'm wrapping this up at 11:15. I'm getting lunch with my wife. So I can't go the full 2 hours today, but I will be back tomorrow. So don't worry. Don't worry. Yo. What's up with that? You watching me on your TV? Okay. Hold on.
Hey,
Nicholas.
come on, bro. What up, Grant? How you doing, bro?
What's up? Good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you taking my call. I love what you're doing, Grant. I've been watching your stuff like every day, and you're posting stuff like during the off season so much, and I love that. And you're keeping it going, man. Because before you, dude, man, I'm telling you, 49ers.com got really boring after a while. So during the off season, because you can only reach crap so much, So yeah, I just want to thank you for doing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, one thing I got to ask though is, I've noticed that you're really on this thing about Trey Lance starting right away. And granted, he looks great. I agree, but it's such a bad, horrible idea because because I mean, if he fails, then all of a sudden, you know what I mean, he's a bust, and then it affects his confidence, and then he probably might not play. Versus true. The other way around, I mean, he sits for a year like they did with Patrick Mahomes. I think that's a genius idea. I mean, look what happened with Steve Young behind Joe Montana, And so I think that's always been a winning formula when you follow that route. What do you think?
It's fair. I mean, if there were no salary cap, then yeah, you would not rush him. But the whole thing is that with the salary cap as it is, with Jimmy Garoppolo's contract what it is, and this rookie wage scale thing of these quarterbacks that are below market value for 4 years, I think the way the league has evolved is you're better off playing the rookie, playing the quarterback as soon as possible, because he's not going to be a finished product, but he's cheap and you can put a super team around him and you can win that way. Now, if he struggles in camp and struggles in preseason, you don't start him week 1. Yeah, obviously. But if he looks good in camp, he looks good in preseason, I think you take the leap of faith that it's going to continue. I mean, I know that preseason isn't the regular season. They're not game planning. It could be different, but if he looks ready, if he smells ready, he might just be ready. I don't know. I know that back in the day you would sit him, but now there's different, you know what I mean? Like so many examples of quarterbacks playing right away and having success. I want to say the ones who can move.
Okay. Now I mean, is it mainly the salary cap that you're talking about that's changed that really makes the difference on how it used to be successful when you would sit a quarterback for a year, a new quarterback versus nowadays? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mainly
I mean, the fact that the Niners have the super expensive, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is the 5th highest paid player in the league. You got to get rid of him. That's part of it. If that means start Josh Rosen, you can't though, right? Because Jimmy's had all this success. You can't just get rid of him. You have to have Trey Lance be the heir apparent. He needs to be the one. So
you can build a team around him. Go ahead.
Like remember Russell Wilson as a rookie in Seattle.
Right.
I mean, he didn't throw the ball a ton. It was really more about running the ball in Seattle, but he was good enough. And he improved since then. But would he have been better off sitting on the bench? I mean, they won right away with him. So I think it's possible.
The thing is running. He still runs a lot, and it drives me crazy. I wish he'd stop running.
I really think that Trey Lance is going to play very similar to him. It's going to be hard to sack him.
So, I agree. I'm so scared that they're going to end up playing him, and he's not ready yet. And yeah, you can build a team around him. If he's not ready, I get that. I mean, look, they pretty much did that with. You can make the argument they did that with Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, how many passes did he have in the Super Bowl? What? How many passes did he do? 9 passes?
Well, in the NFC Championship, it was 8, yeah.
8, there we go, yeah. So I mean, to that aspect, I get it, but it's going to suck because the kid's so young and mentally, if he does end up screwing up, and they call him a bust or whatever, I mean, it's just that's what worries me because, I mean, God, they would trade all the way up to 3rd for this guy. So this is obviously a long-term investment. So I hope it works out. I just think they're just too quick to throw him in there. That's just my opinion, but I think he should at least sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo for a while. At least, I mean, God, the guy only played in so many games, and he didn't even play in that many games. And the ones he did, granted, I mean, he was amazing with his feet and his arm, obviously. But my other question for you, Grant, I wanted to ask real quick. I appreciate you talking with me about this. So the thing I noticed, you posted a video about Coach Shanahan throwing the football from the roof, right? Bro, I went through your whole thing, watched it, waiting for that video, and I couldn't find it. It drove me crazy.
No, I didn't put it in there. My bad.
I know.
Sorry.
You got me so excited. You're like, we'll post it later. So
I know. I did.
I
did say that. My bad. Sorry about that.
I'm
My
like,
bad.
Grant, come on, bro. I want to see the freaking football hit the barbecue, whatever it was you were talking about.
Sorry about that. That's my bad. You're right.
Maybe you can post
No, I want to say something before I let you go, because I got to take some more calls.
Okay. Cool.
Here's my prediction. I hear where you're coming from on take it easy with Trey Lance, and you might be right. But my prediction, and you come back and tell me if I'm wrong, is once you see him one time in preseason, one time, you're going to say, start him. That's my prediction. We'll see what happens. You are going to change your mind.
I can't wait. Appreciate you, Grant.
Right,
you rock, man.
All right, take care, man.
Bye.
Yeah. All right. Bro, what's up? Real quick, because I got to end this show at 11:15, man. Let's do it real quick. Sorry about that.
Great interview with Jimmie Ward yesterday.
Thanks, man. Man. Both you and Ben with the new haircuts, man, looking fly.
I had to get a haircut. It was like going way too big.
All right.
But Jimmie Ward said something yesterday. That he said that he said some type of PFF ranks him 19th out of all safeties in the league. Jeez. And I looked at that, and I know he wasn't gonna say that on air because he didn't want to like diss PFF.
Right.
PFF ranked him 19th in the league out of all the safeties. Some guys that PFF have above Jimmie Ward, like, shocks me completely. Like Derwin James, some players might say that he is a better safety, but he didn't even play last year. So how do you put him over a guy like Jimmie Ward who played last year?
True.
Anthony Harris plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, played for the Vikings last year. His numbers are like 10 tackles, 0 interceptions. So how do you put that guy?
He had a good year 2 years ago. Yeah.
So how do you put these guys over Jimmie Ward? And they have Adrian Amos in the top 10 over Jimmie Ward. Jimmie Ward ranks 19th, which is ridiculous to me.
It's
ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Jimmie Ward gets so underrated, even though he's such a good player. He's top 10 in my opinion of all the safeties in the league. So
I agree, and I think this is going to be the year where Jimmie Ward, oh man, gets his credit. It feels like he is playing the game right. He's figured out, like, look, if I don't promote me, no one's going to promote me. The Niners won't. The league won't. I think playing with Jimmie Ward, I think playing with Richard Sherman was eye-opening. I'd like to ask him if that's my theory, is he saw how Richard Sherman used his own platform to build himself up, and it worked. I mean, Richard Sherman talked his way into Pro Bowl appearances. I mean, he talked his way into PFF, giving him great grades. I think it matters if you talk about yourself. If you just stay silent and let people underrate you, they will, and they'll continue to.
Yep.
So good for Jimmie.
Yep. I hope Jimmie Ward proves himself next year, because he
top 10 guy.
He is a top 10 guy. He's been a top 10
Where's
guy.
Tyrann Mathieu ranked in the PFF ranking?
Tyrann Mathieu. Let me look real quick. Tyrann Mathieu is 11th.
Well, then Jimmie Ward should be 10.
Jimmie Ward should be 10. Tyrann Mathieu's 11. Jamal Adams is 10. Adrian Amos is 9th. Jesse Bates is 8th. Marcus May is 7th. Derwin James is 6th. Marcus May is
better than Jimmie Ward.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's blasphemous.
Who else? Who keep going?
Minkah Fitzpatrick is 5. We all pretty much agree that
Minkah's really good. Although what Jimmie said yesterday was Minkah can't play corner like me, but he's right. So Minkah's 5. Minkah's 6 or he's 5. Okay.
And then Marcus Williams, safety for the Saints, is 4. Over Jamal Adams. Over Minkah.
That's weird.
Fitzpatrick.
Marcus Williams isn't that great.
He isn't. And then Harrison Smith is 2nd, which he's not bad.
Harrison Smith is still the number. Wow. Jimmie Ward's got a case here. He's got a case.
Jimmie Ward does have a case. Jimmie Ward.
He's got a case. Who's number 1?
Smith, he has some good years, but he's not like doing anything special.
Who's number 1?
Justin Simmons for the Broncos.
Okay.
Yeah, Justin Simmons arguable, but yeah. But some of the list that PFF has over Jimmie Ward is just shocking to me, and I hope Jimmie Ward proves himself next season.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, thanks for coming on, man.
See you, man. Have a great
rest of your day. Yeah, you too. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Grant. How you doing, man? Congrats on the interview, man.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, I know you got to end at 11:15, so we'll just do 2 questions,
sure.
Quick fire round. So, okay, if you could have another exclusive interview, but with any 49ers player that's not currently on the team, but in the past, who would it be?
That's really interesting. Man, I interviewed Joe Montana a couple months ago. I've interviewed Steve Young before. Who?
Okay, would those be the choice?
Well, I know no, so not them. I'm trying to think of someone new.
Yeah.
Boy, Alex Smith would be so interesting. Alex Smith
that would be really
so interesting.
Yeah,
Alex Smith.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I mean, I love his story. His story with the Niners is very complicated. So
anyone else I'm forgetting here? Colin Kaepernick. He blocked me like 7 years ago on Twitter and still hasn't unblocked me. It's like, man,
really?
Come on, can we be friends
now? Dang. Okay. And then the other question I have for you, this is kind of interesting. I know COVID's still kind of a thing and we're kind of been slowly opening up, but have you ever thought about doing an in-person live like podcast show and inviting people in person? Have you ever thought about that before?
I know that people do that, and I haven't really considered it because of the pandemic, but it seems like that might be something fun to do at some point. Yeah. How does it work? You like go to a brewery and you tell people and you I don't even know how to do it.
Well,
what do you do?
Okay, maybe I'll shoot you an email because I have a spot that I could actually get you for free in Oakland that could fit hundreds of people. And it has all the video equipment, so you could even live stream it on your channel too. And we could set up like an Eventbrite where people could buy tickets online and show up. So I'll have to shoot you an email. Maybe we can talk about that.
What are you, my agent all of a sudden? Thank you, man. You're the nicest person of all time.
Dude, I appreciate you, and I believe in what you're doing.
Do you live in Oakland?
There's a way I could support you. I'd love to do it. So
you live in Oakland?
I live in Lafayette right now, but I work in Oakland. So
how about that?
Yeah.
Definitely email me. You got my email?
Is it just grantcohn@gmail.com?
Yes.
Yes.
One word, grantcohn@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll hit you up.
All right, man. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Catch you later, bro. Have a great day.
You too. Oh, wait. All right, hold on real quick. I just want to get Waruna's thing. Kirk Cousins should be your next interview. I would send $100 super chat if you do so. I don't think Kirk Cousins knows who I am, but maybe one day. One day, Waruna, I'm holding you to that. $100 if I get Kirk Cousins. What's up? Last call of the day.
Thank you for getting me, and I appreciate it.
Of course.
Oh, you definitely need to get Waruna to pay up if you do get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm holding you to that, Waruna.
So, a couple points from the Jimmie Ward interview. Great interview. Sure. He kept it real.
He did.
Did you notice that he did hype up the training staff because they did say about a lot of the hydration and the vitamins taking the vitamin D that some people with darker skin don't normally absorb vitamin D as easily as people with lighter skin.
I've been saying that. I heard that from a coach. No, from a doctor like 10 years ago about Kevin Durant. It stuck with me. It made perfect sense. And then when people like Deebo Samuel or Jimmie Ward break a bone, I'm like, hey, check those vitamin D levels. And I asked Robert Saleh, I was like, is Jimmie Ward's injury milk related? And it was a good question. I got to say, it was a good question.
Yeah. So
was milk related? The answer was yes.
So yes, I always thought that was a kind of interesting point he said on that. So
it seemed like his answer about staying healthy was like, it's something I do. I mean, I take advantage of the resources. He listed like 15 things that he does. I mean, he says he takes IVs. That's crazy. He does all kind of stuff. So it seems to me that probably when you get in the league, you're 23, you don't think about stuff like that. And then you get hurt. And then you start thinking about, man, how long am I going to last? Am I almost done? And the people who make it to 30 are the people who do this stuff great. Otherwise, it's over, man. So it seems to me that it's like an epiphany these players have to kind of get to on their own. You go from being, I need to work out as hard as I can. I'm 23. I need to prove myself to I might be 25 and out of the league soon if I don't stay healthy. So that guy was like a doctor. He had a whole Pilates, yoga, everything.
The other interesting thing he said was that George Kittle is the toughest person to guard because even though he does see him in practice a lot, I believe he does, but he sees him a lot, so it's not like he's guarding Rob Gronkowski or someone of that ilk. every day. So I kind of wasn't surprised by it, but I was like, that was a really good answer by Jimmie.
Yeah. Also, it explains how he's become so confident in coverage. I mean, if he faces George Kittle every day and does a good job against him, must really help your confidence to think, well, I just shut down or held my own against the toughest matchup in the league again. I'm going to do okay on Sunday because whoever I'm facing on Sunday ain't as good as this guy. That must be heady stuff.
Yeah.
And also from George Kittle's perspective, if he can do well against Jimmie Ward in practice, he's got to feel like he's going to do well in that game because who's a better coverage, man-to-man coverage safety than him? The other thing that was really interesting about what Jimmie Ward said is when they're in goal line defense and only one corner's on the field, he's the corner. I've never noticed that. But that's a job.
I did notice that, and I'm proud of him for being a Northern Illinois alum just because those guys in the South who don't get the SEC offers, they always feel slighted because, I wasn't big or strong enough, or I wasn't a 210-pound safety, coming out of high school.
Right. Did he say he was 165 pounds when he went to college?
I think he was right around maybe 170-ish.
Wow. I mean, that's what I was when I was 18. I was 6 feet 165, but I wasn't getting offers to NIU like he did. He's clearly one of the best athletes in the country. I thought it was interesting. He said he never played offense. That's so interesting. I mean, he played every position on defense. He played D-line, no offense. That shows a lot about his mentality. He's really not a hype look at me guy. He's not. He's had to develop it to get, I don't know. He's doing it now though. Doing great.
Yeah. Usually those guys who play both ways in high school, they always get every offer they can get under the sun. So
there you go.
And it only takes one scholarship offer to prove people wrong.
It's true. And he certainly did. He certainly did.
All right. Thank you,
Grant. All right, man. Great to see y'all. See you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
All right. Take care. Biz Bang Bang Niner Gang says, I need to be on the show, Grant. Big fan of you, but also Niners. Hey, yo, check out the description of the video. There's a link. You click on that, you're on the show. Unfortunately, the show's over for today. But if you want to call in tomorrow, just that little StreamYard link will get you in. That's the number. It's a link. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Saturday. Go Jimmie Ward. I should probably end the broadcast. I should probably end the broadcast. I just left. That was weak. Okay, I'm ending the broadcast now. Thanks, everyone.